Good morning, class, and welcome to the 11th class of the Gud Academy. Today's going to focus on a little bit of IRL play, actually, but IRL play isn't that far from coming back. So if you may be like, oh, my locals aren't back yet, this is still a good video to watch and maybe something to bookmark and come back to later once your locals are back, League Cup, League Challenges, Regionals, etc. But the class title is going to be Stop Talking and Start Playing. So Azul GG went on a rant that was similar to this idea the other day on his stream, and it kind of gave me the idea of I should go in more detail in that with the Get Good Academy. So first, what is our purpose? The idea is we should explain what you should or shouldn't say during a game before, technically after as well, I guess, and explain what knowledge your opponent might be giving you that you can use. So one of the things that can really separate a top level player from an average player is that the average player can sabotage themselves a lot. It is a mental game. Playing IRL versus PTCGO, there is a big difference of this mental game, whether it's psyching each other out or using your opponent's body language as tells. This one's going to focus on the literal words that you are saying. So you may say, oh, Mello, I can't really control my body language. That's a future problem. For this one, you can control what you do and do not say. Pre-game. This happens all the time, especially at regionals, but usually cups and stuff as well. So, oh, how'd your last round go? All the time. I personally hate this. I will never ask my opponent how their last round went, but all the time they'll ask me or they will straight tell me. We love to talk about ourselves. We love to talk about our games. That is fine. Do not give specifics. If I won the last round, let's say I'm playing Mew VMAX, Fusion Strike, and I beat a single strike, I'm going to say, oh, I won my last round. It was fun. Something like that. Things went well. My deck did what it was supposed to do. That's it. Nothing. I'm not even going to say I took prize cards before they did. That tells them I'm playing a deck that takes prize cards. You may say, oh, Mel, that's all decks. Right now, that's all decks. I'm not going to tell them, oh, I beat something that hits me for weakness. Oh, I beat a really bad matchup. It felt good. No, that gives them extra information you don't need. And I'm definitely not going to tell them, oh, I beat single strike even though they hit me for weakness, or, oh, I'm not giving them specific. I'm not, oh, I found the boss orders I need for game, or, oh, I found the cross switcher I need for game. That's huge. I say that, they know I play these cards. They might figure out what my deck is. If I say cross switcher, you're playing Mew VMAX, you're playing Fusion Strike. That is a ton of information you do not want to give them. If you've played closed deck list tournaments, you know that first opening hand, sometimes you have situations where you're like, I'm not sure which card to start because I don't know what my opponent's playing. That gives them the extra information. You do not want them to know what you're playing if they don't already know. So don't give specifics. You can talk about it and say, I won, I lost, it was fun, my opponent was really cool, something like that, but don't give information. Don't say, I found what I needed for game, or, oh, I prized my last boss. That's important. Saying, I prized my last boss tells me, A, you're an attacking deck. B, you play more than one boss's orders. C, you don't know how to check your own prizes, and you played to a win condition that you couldn't actually play to because you were playing to a boss that was in your prizes. So that tells me a ton of extra information, which is really important to know. So do not do this, and don't push your opponent for information. I'm not telling you this so that you can go ask your opponent, how'd your last game go? And then be like, oh yeah, what'd you play? What'd you play against? All this other stuff. Don't push your opponent for information. That is incredibly grimy. I have one person that I can keep in mind that I played before who was incredibly annoying, and I still have a grudge with them to this day because it was simply, they kept asking me stupid questions. Oh, how many of that do you play? Oh, did you think about, oh, what tech cards do you play? What's in your hand? Like, this is the stupidest stuff you should not be asking your opponent. What cards do you have in hand? What cards do you have in deck? Oh, how many of these cards do you play? That's just not being a good person. But if they willingly volunteer that information, take it. And you should not willingly volunteer that information. Don't tell them, I play three of, I don't know. I play 3 Houndooms. I don't know why you'd play 3 Houndooms in single strike, but I only play 3 of them. Why would you ever say that? There's no reason to give up that extra piece of information. During the game, this is something that even I struggle with, but don't tell your opponent, oh, I prize this card. Oh, my last prize is blank. That tells me so much. If I'm not winning the game on the next turn and I know, oh, you just told me you prized your boss, sick. Now I don't have to play around a boss's orders. I'm totally fine because it's in the prize cards. I ain't got to worry about it. Oh, I prize this card. Oh, sick. Well, now that I know that, I'm going to play like you don't have access to it. Usually. Now, of course, first off, if you lie, that is That is actually a penalty. That is in the TPCI rulebooks. There's a lot of spirit of the game stuff, but there's also a certain like, I'm not going to play automatically to it, but I know you should not be giving that information. I'm going to play, okay. That's interesting. Oh, that sucks for you. Good for me. Don't mention you did or didn't tech for a matchup. If I flip over my Mew V, don't be like, oh, I took out a tech card for this, or oh, I played a tech card for this. I guess Mew's a bad example. It's hard to tech for Mew. But like, you get the idea. Don't automatically be, oh, I teched for the mirror match. Oh, cool. So you probably play a Fan of Waves. Good. I'm going to play around you playing a Fan of Waves. I'm not going to tell my opponent that I play Fan of Waves in my Mew deck because I don't want them to know. I'm going to say, oh, I teched for this. Do not ever do that. Or, oh, I didn't tech for this. I didn't think I'd see this. Don't let them know. Let them think, oh, you have a tech in your deck. Don't mention misplays. This is one I struggle with. I'll be, oh man, I missequenced there. I did this. I did that. A good player can kind of hear that misplay and be like, can I punish this? And sometimes, yes, sometimes you can punish these misplays. So don't tell your opponent, oh, I misplayed. Don't mention cards that you missed off a supporter either. If you're going to lose the game because you missed a switch card, don't tell your opponent, oh, I missed a switch. Let's scoop and go to game 2. Now I know, okay, you have 2 switch in your discard pile and you whiffed a switch. You played 3 switch, at least. That is incredibly important information. If you miss something and you're like, oh, I just lose because my opponent's game on board, scoop it up, go to the next game. Don't tell your opponent what your win condition was. That is just giving extra pieces of information. Don't mention, oh, I missed this, I missed that. It's also a little bit of a mental game. If you play a research, you need a card, and you miss the card, that's okay. Keep playing your turn out, assuming you can still win the game. And don't tell your opponent, oh, I missed it. Because as soon as you say, I missed this, they can stop thinking about you making a certain play. And they start thinking about, okay, how am I going to respond to, the other plays that they can make? If you don't tell them that and you keep playing the game, they don't know that. They're still thinking, oh, what did they hit the switch here? So don't tell them you missed. Keep playing the game. Try and set yourself up to put yourself in the best position to win the game. And then you're good to go. And this is true of everyone. Everyone at my locals, I love all of you. I love joking. I love chatting during the game. But if you pay attention, I don't tell you these things. And if you tell me these things, I will take advantage of it. I'm trying to win the game, friend or foe. So do not be giving this extra information to your opponents during the games. Not saying keep your mouth shut. You should always talk to your opponent. Have fun. It is a fun game. It is a social game, but keep these extra information about the board state, about what's in your deck, what's in your prizes, what deck you're playing. Keep that stuff to yourself. It makes a huge difference over the long term, and using the information from your opponent makes a big difference as well. So pay attention to your opponent saying these things and think, how can I use this extra information to help me? Remember to like, comment, subscribe. If this is your first Get Good Academy video, make sure to check out the rest of the Get Good Academy videos as well. There will be more of them as I think of what topics we can include, but I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.